cannot look 25 years ahead and imagine what it's going to be like. You don't have to have what he has, or do what he does. It's you're all right in yourself, appreciate yourself. They've got to put that shit down before they even get here. If you have to walk around with a knife, ask yourself if you're in the right environment for you. Every problem that you're going through, to a certain degree, is a state of mind. Where did you get that from? Even in the bank. If you're going to go to hell, you better get some horns, man.
Yes, we are back at it, the Daily Life, and this week's guest, yes, I've got him. It's the real deal, the main man, the one and only Nick Manners. Nick, how you doing, mate?
I'm fine, thank you. Appreciate you coming down.
I appreciate you giving us your time, Nick.
No, I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Nice to meet you guys.
How's life in general, Nick?
Life's good. I'm alive, my heart's beating. If you look at situations around the world, plenty of people in a worse situation than we could even dream of. So I'm happy as Larry. Life's good.
Take life for granted sometimes, don't we?
Yeah, which is a shame, but you know what it is? As long as you've got a heart, you can take part, can't you?
You're in a good place, Nick?
To be fair, I'm in a very good place. You know what I mean? Like anybody else, you could be better, but I try not to look over the road too far. You know what I mean? I keep on my side.
How's family getting on?
Thankfully, family's good. You know what I mean? I can't argue with that, and I'm happy. I know I'm very fortunate when it comes down to it, because the law of average and statistics, sometimes I'm not going to tempt fate. My family are all right, and thankfully they're all right. You know what I mean? And I know we're very fortunate to have a family that thankfully is all right. So,
how proud are you of the kids?
Oh, you know what? I'm just happy that my kids are doing their own thing in life that they're happy with. You know what I mean? I'm just so happy that they're happy doing what they're doing, and whatever they're doing, when I look at them, I don't see a reflection of my past, and that's what makes me proud, because they're in a totally different direction, on a totally different level, and that is what makes me happy.
You've raised them well, mate, yeah?
Well, not necessarily. I think the mothers have been absolutely fantastic, you know what I mean? I can't argue with that. I've always had, my kids have always had fantastic, let's say, role models or guidance and things like that, and some of the things that, to be fair, some of the things that I was allowed to do, I wouldn't allow my kids to do, and that's just different generations, different times. Just say, for example, when we were kids, we could go out, say, for example, on a weekend or whatever, or on an evening, we could go out at bloody 9 o'clock in the morning and not come home till 7 o'clock at night. Nowadays, from my point of view, I didn't even want my kids coming out of the garden. Play in your garden, mind your business. You know what I mean? And then when you've finished school, when you're a bit older, you'll have your group of friends and that who you can move with, whether hopefully it's from university, college, this, that, and the other. I'm not trying to be a snob on that, but
No,
just
100%.
like any other parent, you just want better for your kids.
Giving them good guidance is paramount.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Listen, I'll tell you straight. I'm not in a situation where I can give my kids millions of pounds or turn around and go and magic up some dough and say, yeah. No, I'll tell my kids the same way. Listen, work for it. You know what I mean? Work for it. Simple as that.
Work hard always pays, mate, in all walks of life.
Well, they appreciate it as well. You know what I mean? They appreciate it. Thankfully, the little things like I'll say to them, listen, get your licence. And apart from the fact that your driving licence is like great for your credit score and things like that, and it's a good thing to have, I say, listen, get your licence, because when you get your driving licence, I'll stop worrying about you when you've got to go from A to Z, or, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, anybody can be a victim nowadays. But the thing is, if you've got the safety of your car, that takes the percentages down a bit, you know what I mean?
So let's just go back to the early days, mate, Nick, where you grew up. Back to it for us.
I had what I thought was a fantastic childhood. Grew up predominantly in an area called Gipton, which is Leeds is full of council estates. You know what I mean? You'll know yourself living in Scotland and that, you know what I mean? Big council estates, Seacroft, Gipton, Hayrhills, Gipton, Chapeltown, Meanwood, all of them. And they were all more or less the same. Because in reality, people are people, aren't they? They're all the same, you know what I mean? So we had a great childhood running around Gipton. There were loads of characters up there that I'm still great friends with now. Loads of characters who's, to be fair, at this point in my life now, I'm 50 something, 56. So the people that I looked up to, sadly, they're starting to pass on. You know what I mean? Which is a shame, but you know what I mean? And I find I have great pleasure in, I see some of them elders and that, and you know what? I'll stop them and I'll shake their hand and I'll say, listen, thank you very much.
Giving them time.
Well, it's not even giving them time. I'm telling thank you very much for being part of my childhood and that, because you know something? I've got a load of people who I can honestly say thank you to, and I appreciate that. And they'll turn around and say, what do you mean? I say, no. And they might think, in certain respects, they might think I'm bigger than them now. And because of some of the experiences that I've had and some of the situations that I'm fortunate to have been around and in. And they're surprised when I stop them and say, listen, can I just say, do you remember years ago when we were in Gibson and I might have come to your house and this, that and the other? Oh, yeah. Say, listen, I thank you for that and I appreciate that, because some of the experiences that I had when I went to certain houses and was told to stay at the gate, they could have changed my mind towards people and further down the road towards people who I didn't even know. Just say, for example, I might have turned around and said, I'm not talking to no white guys because they didn't let me in the garden and this, that and the other. But there were people, I remember there was they won't mind me saying this, there was a family called the Telfords. Now, the Telfords had a few quid, you know what I mean? And to be fair, what we always remembered about the Telfords is biscuits, man. They had biscuits, and it wasn't just custard creams, you know what I mean?
Biscuits.
They had chocolate biscuits and then pink wafer biscuits and biscuits with jam in and that. And that were like a dinner. You know what I mean?
Give me them.
And we go there, and Mr. Telford and Mrs. T, God bless Mrs. Telford, she passed on. But I know that there's a few people who'll be listening to this who'll know exactly what I'm talking about. They were great people, you know what I mean? Mr. T, he's not in the best of health at the moment, but I went and seen him the other day and that, and I was saying to him, listen, Mr. T, thank you very much, and that you were one of the ones who really made us.
Having that good appreciation.
Oh,
innit?
good. Yeah. Yeah, listen, there's nothing wrong with saying thank you, because there's a lot of people out there that we need to be saying thank you to, especially as elders, because I reckon the callers Generation X, don't they?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what it is. What a generation we've had. We've experienced everything in a happy, honest way. Whereas we can talk about all sorts, can't we? We could talk about the drugs phenomenon. No disrespect, I know that they had the swinging 60s and this, that and the other, but in ours, I know there's drugs problems and that, but at one point in time, it was a happy problem. Do you know what I mean? It was happy.
It's too out of control now, society, with drugs and
so.
whatnot, gang culture,
Yeah.
knife culture. But just touching back, Nick, how did you go on with your parents when you were young?
I loved them.
Yeah.
I got on great with them. You know what I mean? I knew exactly my place. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Which is keep a child's place. You know what I mean? Be respectful, and just like many people, you're an angel in front of your parents, and as soon as you go outside, your horns come on. You know what I mean? Or you might be a little naughty and that. But I had a great relationship with my parents. Obviously, for quite a while, I was part of a single parent household, you know what I mean? But that didn't affect me at all, because
Was that tough, Nick, or no?
No, mum was mum and dad, man. I mean, mum was mum and dad, she didn't play. You know what I mean? When I say she didn't play, she protected her brood like a cougar. You know what I mean? So we was all right. We never had no problems in that respect, you know what I mean? We always felt protected and
Did she make a lot of sacrifices for you, Nick?
like plenty of parents that make sacrifices. I don't think she made more sacrifices than anybody else. The only thing that I can turn around and 100% guarantee that we may or may not have had more than anybody else is we definitely had love. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that's
most important thing.
Yeah. We had love, and we knew we were loved, and we knew we were appreciated. So that meant that when we went out the door, we had like an armour on us anyway that said, we know we're all right, we know we're happy, we know that when we go home, we're going to be going home to be greeted by love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like so many other people I remember from my childhood, we had nothing, but we all had nothing together. And I remember being able to, let's just say it as it is, if we needed sugar, could go next door, get a cup of sugar. If we needed a few slices of bread, you go and you get half a loaf of bread from your neighbour and vice versa. And there'd be times when neighbours would come knocking on the door and they've got some milk.
That's class, isn't it, man?
Listen, those days, and the thing is now, think about it. Now, these days, you wouldn't even share a cup with somebody. If I turn around and says, have a drink of that, you'd probably say, no, I'll get me own. Because of whatever.
You could leave your back door open years ago.
Oh,
you can't do anything, you get fucking robbed.
I think the reason why you could leave your back door open is because nobody had fuck all anyway. Not worth going. You know what I mean? But you could leave it open and, well, it was a matter of trust as well. You know what I mean? It was trust. There was a lot more trust within communities. Don't get me wrong. You go into another one and if you see a back door open, you'd be like, there's a wage there. You know what I mean? But
I get you.
And the thing is, if you got caught in another area, that's your retribution. It had, but around your own, you don't steal off your own. You don't whatever, blah blah blah. But I can't turn around and say that I had a bad childhood. Mine was. I tell you what, is I look on mine, and I was just talking to my brother the other day, and he said something that I knew, but I didn't realise. He was saying, Nick, do you remember trees that we had in our garden? And we had 2 trees. And they were the best trees for me. They were the best trees in Gipton. You know what I mean? One of them were like a catapult. Like, go up, and then it went forked. And the other one was just like just straight up. But they were climbable. And they were in our garden. So we'd be flying up there and we'd be saying, listen, you can come in and climb our trees if you want. You know, but you've got to give us some apples or something, or you've got to give us a biscuit or give us a blackjack or give us a fruit salad or something, you know what I mean, or a lollipop, you know what I mean. But we had great times, and some of the friends that we had down there, considering a lot of people thought it was racist, it wasn't racist. There was a lot of ignorance down there because people didn't understand people. Before integration, people guessed. And then next thing you know, you'd have a black family in the street. And then next thing you know, like, you know, they always share a pot. You know what I mean? They might send a pot of food, chicken. Now, the guys, they might have never put spice or herb up their chicken and that, and then all of a sudden, before you've had that spicy chicken, before you've had a curry, loads of people used to be moaning and complaining about the smell of Indians and Next thing you know, they had a taste of that food and they were like, fuck the smell, give us some more. You know what I mean? And you realise actually it's just the smell. You know what I mean? That's the spices and that, you know what I mean? So, because if you remember rightly, at one point, people used to complain that they could smell curry and then they could smell the cooking of the black person, the cooking of the Asian person, and that used to do with their heading. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they got a taste of it and they were like, actually, it's not that nice. Bad. Yeah, fair enough.
You touched on a minute ago there about racism and things like that, Nick. Did you experience much of that back in the day?
Some people are going to shoot me for, well, not shoot me, but shoot me down for this because I don't jump onto the narrative. As I said, it wasn't racism. It's very, 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 very difficult to find racism. Listen, that word is a made-up word that causes so much fucking trouble.
You think it's overused, Nick?
I think it's way too overused. It's not racism, it's ignorance. And that. How can he be racist and his daughter's married to a black guy and he's got 3 grandkids that are great, that thing? He's got a problem with something, all right? He's ignorant to some things. It's like, just say, for example, people will talk about the Welsh, the Scottish, the English, the whatever, and it's like, hang on a minute. Then they'll go to Scotland and they'll go, what a beautiful place. Hang on a minute. So I've just had my, how can I put it? My whole perception of Scotland is based on that thing that I saw on television where he was drunk and shouting and loud and that. There's Rabsy Ned.
I've seen this bit.
Yeah. Yeah, so your whole perception on Scotland and Scottish people is based on that. Or on Jimmy Boyle, slash your face, extremes and that. Nah. Scottish are lovely people. I've been up to Scotland plenty of times and that. And
so patriotic, Nick. See a Scottish man. I love being Scottish, man, honestly. See that time of year for the Scotland.
You never win fuck all though.
No, I do be fuck, man, but we're good at, we're good at fighting, but that's it.
Yeah, you fight like fucking that and that's it. You know, you can cause a row.
We're shite. We're out at football now, we're doing not too bad, but I get your confidence.
Yeah, no, I'm only joking. No, but listen, at the end of the day, I used to say to myself, well, why didn't they just make a United Kingdom team? Yeah. You know what I mean? They could.
Aye.
But you still haven't got nobody to contribute, have you? Sorry, I'm only joking.
You spoke about your brother Colin there. Yeah. Your role model to you?
100%. My hero.
Is he like the David Goggins Leeds?
Is what?
The David Goggins Leeds, the fitness fanatic guy. Strong as a bull. I seen a picture when I came in. He had the sack barrel thing on his back.
He does this Goldthorpe thing with, it's I think I don't know how much it is, but it's the equivalent of a bag of coal, and they've got to run a mile. And I'll tell you something. I went to see him the other year do it, and we all went down and watched him do it. I'll tell you what, it is so difficult. So, but his endurance and his stamina and it's his mental strength as well. You know what I mean? What he does is he makes sure that he's. I'm saying to him all the time, Colin, we've retired, you know. And saying what you're the man. I said, well, you're training as hard now as you did then. You know what I mean? And he's like, I love it. I said, I know you love it, but you've only got so many beats to your heart, so save him.
Did he always have your back years ago, Nick?
Colin's always been like a big father to us all as well. You know what I mean? He's a lovely man, great example. Sacrificed so much of his own, so much of the things he could have done himself in order to turn around and be a good example to us.
Do you know what, mate? See, brotherhood, mate, it's so important, right? Because our parents leave us too soon, right? Our spouses come too late. But see, the siblings, they're there for day dot.
Listen, I'm fortunate enough to still have my parents and that, and I'll tell you what, I know that's a blessing because there's so many of my friends who's lost their parents and this, that, and the other, and sometimes you just see that they fall apart, and it's like the family bonds, I don't think are the same as they used to be because. I think in this society, in Britain, I think they've got it all wrong. Because of what they do is I might be wrong, but it seems to me like they grow you up to get to 16, 17, then you go do your own thing. You go get yourself a flat, do this, that, and the other, and it's like other cultures, what they do is they remain family, and what they'll turn around and do is say, okay, then you're of a certain age now. Okay, then if you're not following education, you've got to get a job. If you get a job, let's all work together, and then we'll get a house. Okay, when it's your turn to get a house, you'll get a house, and
help each other out.
Yeah, help each other out. But I think that in this society that we've got over here, I think it's been pushed too much towards me, gimme, and it's
always I want. Fucking hell, man. Help people, look, man. Be kind, be nice, be gentle. People always want fucking the next big thing in life. Take what you have, grow on it, build it, work hard. That's what it's all about, Nick. Do you know what I mean?
That's why I 100% believe that. You know what I mean? It's like boxing. At the end of the day, I love boxing, and I don't love boxing for the usual reasons. I don't love boxing for titles, for adulation, for this, that, and the other. I love boxing because at the end of the day, I know for a fact it's a way out. It's a way out, and at the end of the day, even if you don't go on to be a top-class boxer or even a decent boxer, the discipline that you're going to get from boxing, from going to a gym a couple of times a week, from actually putting yourself through, sacrificing your body to do these exercises, will stand you in good stead for your work experience, your life experience, your family experience. Confidence is 100%.
Yeah.
I've got kids coming in here, and I'll tell you what it is. I say to them, listen, I'm so glad I've got windows now. You know, no, because I can always turn and say, hey, come here, have a look. And we'll stay there and we'll see kids walking past looking up. So see the difference between you and them? You're in here. You know what I mean? And the next thing you know, they're walking up the street. So you don't know where they're going. You don't know what they're going to meet. Then you might hear, woo, 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 woo. Police flying up the road. And I'll turn around and say to him, not to do with you, that is it. You can't even get stopped on suspicion. You can't be suspicious. You're not suspicious because you're not there. And a lot of the time it is with these kids is, just give them something to, something they want to do, something they enjoy doing, something they don't feel like they're going to get overly judged on, you know what I mean? And they can progress. And if you've got kids here who can do, if I can get them to skip for a minute, say to them, that's not bad, is it? If you can skip for a minute, by the time you finish training properly, you can probably skip for 3. You know what I mean? You can do it on and continue. The things that you're doing here are, I'd say, much harder than some of the things that you'll do in the work situation or the class.
Do you worry for the youth of today, Nick? Like, obviously, we're talking about kids out in the street and things like that.
I cannot look 25 years ahead and imagine what it's going to be like. I can't imagine what it's going to be like in 25 years. I cannot. When 25 years ago, I could imagine what it was going to be like in 25 years. And it's not as bad as I thought it would be. Politically, economically and all that is bad, but I'm on about society. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. I thought we'd have that Mad Max moment a long time. See,
the thing is, there's kids wanting no knives, it's fucking swords, 14 years age, killing each other. It's like narcos killings. You're like, this is, how do we control this? What do we need to do to make this better?
Can I tell you
do we
something?
Get the kids into the gym? What do we do?
Oh, listen, it's not just about the gyms though, is it? It's about opportunities in life. Where do these kids? It's like using your imagination. You use your imagination. How old are you?
38.
Right, you're 38. Imagine when you was 15. You used your imagination to wonder where you're going to be as an adult. And you may have been able to hold on to some kind of dream. Whereas these kids now, ask them where they're going to be in 15 years' time. And it'd be very, very difficult for them to give a solid answer, because you can't say what society is going to be like in 15 years' time. To a degree, you can't predict whether you're going to be in a comfortable financial situation, whether you don't know what the future holds.
You know what, Nick? So I can't get my head round right. It's the way kids are now. They're game as fuck. I seen one up in Glasgow up in Castlewalk a few months back. 4 guys with samurai swords attacking the one guy. To do that takes some fucking metal, mate.
It takes some doing to do that, but that's a total disregard for human life. That's a total disregard for disregard for compassion or anything. It's brutal. But you know what? I wouldn't, and I don't do it myself. There's certain things that I don't do. I try not to listen to, the gangster rap and all that business. Yeah. And I'm not blaming gangster rap, but to be fair, gangster rap's where the beat is, that's where the music is, that's where the hype is, that's where that vibration is. But I try not to listen to it, because I actually feel I'll be driving my car. If I could take you down into my car now to back what I'm saying. And if you see what's in there, I went into a charity shop the other week or other month, because I was like that. I was just feeling myself getting uptight as I'm dancing. I'm thinking I'm 56 years old and I'm fucking leaning back like some fucking rude boy. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, because the beat's there, and I'm like, what are you doing?
That adrenaline pump.
Yeah, yeah. And you start putting yourself, and I'm like, you're a grown man, get your seat up, sit up straight. You know what I mean? And I'm like, let me just get something that's going to give me a cooler. You know, I've got in my car, I've got Grease, the album. I've got Prince. I've got some Aretha Franklin, and I've got some Whitney Houston. And you know, all them records, just honestly, you're laughing. I know.
Smiling, I know.
Have you seen White Chicks?
Yeah.
All right. Working my way downtown. Yeah, but dickhead here, I turn up my music loud, close my windows, so I'm having in a world of my own. You're the one I want, you are the one I want, ooh, ooh, ooh. And I'm thinking, yeah, everybody's looking at me, my cat must look good, I must look good. And it's no, they're like, who's dickhead with Grease on? I'm like, I'm all right with me. I'm all right with me. And I'll tell you what it is, I am not interested in keeping up and trying to get what the Joneses have got and this, that and the other. I've been in situations where, I remember when I bought a car off my brother Colin. I'm not a rich man, I don't look to be a rich man, I'm all right in myself and I'll try my best. But I brought a car off our Colin because I knew I was going to get another car, but I knew that to get the good car or get the solid car that I wanted, I might have to wait another 12 to 18 months. But I'll tell you what, I need a car. I'll buy our Colin's car because he's getting a new one, but I know that Colin's, like brand new. And then I got it. And then anyway, big Peugeot. And anyway, something happened and the window wouldn't open. When I say it wouldn't open, I couldn't open it properly. Yeah. It'd just fucking drop. You know what I mean? So and then you'd have to pull it up. And then the door wouldn't lock. But what I had to show them kids is, from my point of view and the honest point of view, and what we're trying to do down here, me and my brothers, is just show an example that, look, you don't have to turn around and keep up with the Joneses to go forward. So how do you do that? Well, you start at the bottom. So what we did was, with me, I had my old cronky car. They didn't even realise that it didn't lock. And they soon realised that the windows didn't work, because I'd be taking them, I'd take them sparring and things like that, and they'd go, press window, and it'd just go, boom, drop, and I'd be like, yeah, little shit. You know what I mean? Who told you to touch that? Yeah, I just want you to open window. Listen, you don't touch the next man's buttons in his car and that, you know what I mean? And you're not in your car. When you buy a car, you touch your buttons and that, and until that time, don't touch nothing. Thinking, fucking hell. So we've got to drive out way there now, haven't we? With a big draft coming in the car, because the window won't go back up. So we'll be doing things like that. And then one time, little Ruslanus, he run down the steps of the gym, and he would just checking car door for me, and it opened. And he went, Nick, your car's open. It's not locked. Man, fucking hell. that's it, the game's up. I mean? So I had to get another car because everybody knew that it just didn't lock. But like I said to them, listen, you don't have to have what everybody else has got to be like everybody else. So I'll tell you what it is. This is what I turn around and say to them. To me, personally, I think I look cool as fuck. I think I'm a very handsome man. Personally, that's me. You know why? Because I appreciate me and I'm all right with me. Now, what I want you guys to do is understand that you don't have to have what he has, or do what he does, because you're all right in yourself. Appreciate yourself. And you know, when they're training here, so you know what you need to do once in a while? Invite one or two of your pals who don't train, who don't do no, but who are all flash and who are great and who are brilliant. Just bring them down to the gym. Just bring them down to the gym. Now, you're not bringing them down to the gym to beat them up or to show them up or anything. But I want you to see how much stronger, fitter, and about it you are. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing. Boxing builds good men and women, and it makes them feel valuable and gives them respect, which is the most important
100%.
thing, if you ask me. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you look at it, right? See, in World War II, Nick, right? There was males faking their age to go and fight for their country. Now you've got these kids at 14, 15 running with fucking swords trying to attack each other. Get into the gym, get on with it, and cut all that bullshit out.
Can I say something though, which is as much as I work with the kids and this, that, and the other, I'm sort of like oblivious to a lot of the. I see, and I hear about all this knife crime, this, that, and the other, but the circle of people that I'm trying to attract here, they've got to put that shit down before they even get here. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's difficult though to influence them, because I'll tell you what it is. You've got these little postcode wars that are going on, and how can you have a postcode war how can it within one little small 10-mile radius? How can you have gangs of people who are hating each other and against each other? I know how it happens because there's certain things that goes on, but you'd think, hang on a minute, when we were growing up, I had friends from like a 20-mile radius. So I didn't have no enemies. You'd have enemies, you're not enemies. You'd have little rivalries in areas and that, but you didn't specifically have anybody that you didn't like or you hated or whatever, because you didn't. Listen, everybody was everybody.
Do you have a message, Nick, for kids that are involved in knife culture, gang culture? Not saying advice, but what message could you put out there to these young kids?
There's 2 ways I'll give you the message for knife crime. If you've got a knife, chances are, if I know you've got a knife, and I'm not sensible enough to avoid you, chances are I'm going to have to get a bigger knife or something that's better than a knife to protect myself from you who has a knife. So how do you stop it escalating? What I'd turn around and say is, do you really need to be there? Do you really need... If you have to walk around with a knife, ask yourself if you're in the right environment for you. Ask yourself, do you go to bed with a knife? Do you have to have weapons by your door? Do you have to have weapons under your bed? Do you have to have weapons in your car? That's something about you. You know what I mean? That's something about you, because if you've got to have all them... Maybe I'm living in a bubble. You know what I mean? But I don't think I am. But I think that if you've got to have all them... If you have all them things and carry all them things, the chances are you're going to get it. You're even going to have to give it, or you're going to get it, because you're in that circle. I can't understand why anybody would want to carry a knife. And I'm not knocking them. Some say it's fear.
It's cowardly.
Well, at the same time, there's... But you know something? I don't... From the aggressor's point of view, if you're going to turn around and have a knife and turn around and slice up somebody, yeah, I think that's cowardly. I think it's bang out of order. But I also think that there's another side to it where you've got kids who are actually fucking shitting themselves, and that they're shitting themselves to go to school, because there's kids who have got knives, who will stab them in the leg, or who will cut them and try and cut them for the silliest of reasons. And then I can understand why some kids will think they'll shit themselves that much that they think maybe they need something just to protect themselves. I can get that. But at the same time, I also say this. You know, these out of control kids, well, they live somewhere, don't they? They go home somewhere each night, don't they?
The parents.
Yeah, so what I turn around and say is, honestly, it's like they're saying about this ban the bully and all that business. You know, the dogs?
Yeah.
Ban and XL bullies. Listen, well, I'm not going to blame the XL bully. I'm blaming the owner.
100%.
And just like the kids, your kids are your responsibility until at least 16 years old. So by rights, what you should be able to turn around and say, sit your ass down, staying tonight. And I challenge any parent to turn around and just say to their children, put your phone down, staying tonight with us, and see what sort of response you get. Because that'll tell you a little bit about your kids as well. You know what I mean? Can they stay in? Can you turn around and tell your kids to sit in and sit in, just sit in, stay in with the family? Let's avoid that, because a lot of the time, for the sake of just fucking staying in, mind your fucking business and stay in your house. Because half of these kids are spectators and bystanders who get involved because something goes off. Yeah. One has trouble. I can't stand and watch my mate get beat up. So they all have to jump in. And then all of a sudden, pack of dogs.
Gangs and machos, that's all it is.
Yeah.
Like I had this kid, right, I interviewed him, Harry Kinsella, you know him, super featherweight for Liverpool, right?
Yeah.
Get caught with a bladed article, intent. He got a couple of years, right? He was boxing for England. Nice kid, boxing for England.
Why does he need a knife?
Exactly. So he relocated himself up to Holytown in Scotland, just up a couple of miles up the road from me, and got his career back on track. Was on a Wasserman show, doing well for himself, up with Dominic Vaughan.
Yeah.
Vaughan family, lovely people. Working with Dominic Vaughan, really excelling himself in the gym, working hard, dedicating himself to the sport.
Tell me it's all good.
No, it's not. So we get goes back to Liverpool, gets caught up in caught in a fight. With a bladed article, wound intent again. Gets caught, he's on remand now. I could cry for him, I could cry with anger, Nick.
He'll be sat in there and he'll be like, why did I even come back down here?
Aye.
You know, sometimes...
Crazy.
Honest to God. So I feel for... What you've got to remember, from my point of view, when I think about all these kids, I do see them as victims. I don't see them as scumbags or this. I see them as victims because I'm looking. I told you before that I used to have a real dislike for drugs, smack, brown, whatever, because I've seen it ruin places, you know what I mean? I've seen it ruin people. Some of my good friends got fucked up totally on drugs. But I watched that Train Spotters. And it wasn't until I watched that Train Spotters that I realised that, you know, these addicts are people. And what also got me was, and that's why I can't knock them. It's these alcoholics, I can't knock them. Some of them I'm like...
Shame, it's an illness, Nick. It's easy to caught up that stuff, do you know what I mean? Drugs, alcohol, it's hard.
It's you know what I've found that a lot of them have some kind of major trauma or some major thing that goes on in their life, and it's like they might have a passing of a parent, a bereavement.
Scars them.
Yeah, scars them, and then you know what you want to do? Forget it. So you might have a couple of drinks, and then them couple of drinks might be a good comfort to you, so you keep doing it. And in doing that drink, you might not go to work today, you might not this, it's a spiral.
Yeah. There's no routine in your life, you control mental health on the floor, and it just goes for there.
What do you think to this mental health thing?
Do you know what, Nick, it's real, right? It's definitely real. We need to help people that's got it. It's a very difficult situation because there's certain, how do I say this and put this right, there's certain people that jump on it, and listen, you're only going to get depressed if you've not got a routine in your life. If you're sitting there eating junk food, watching shite on the TV, sitting there fucking daydreaming,
true, you know,
thinking crazy thoughts, that's why it happens.
Thinking, your mind thinks.
Yep.
And the thing is, and it thinks based on what it's hearing, what you're seeing, all these circumstances. And if you're seeing, like you said, if you're not exercising, you've got no routine, you just sat there vegetating, thinking shit with no solutions and all. And if you've got no solutions, if you've got no answers to a problem, all you've got is a problem.
There's a strong word here, right? I think depression is a choice. You can choose to be depressed, but if you want to get up off your arse, get up, go a run, take the dog out, go a walk, bond with people, talk to people. That's how you can deal with things. That's why you can fix it. Do you know what I mean?
What? I'll tell you honestly, you know something? I've got all sorts of people come here, all sorts of people. And you know what I do? One thing that I do say to them, say, listen, every problem that you're going through, to a certain degree, is a state of mind. You might have that affliction, but how you handle it mentally can help you or hinder you. So,
see if that's right, everyone flows.
Oh, right. It does. And
that's working, coming to the gym, doing whatever you're doing, going up the street or walk, things like that. If that's correct, you function.
Listen,
Guaranteed.
I wish mine weren't so correct, because I'll tell you what it is. A lot of the time, I see through bullshit. You know what I mean? I see through bullshit, and it's like, in reality, what we're doing now is we're being programmed in a certain respect to let things go, to let things, listen, you can't say that, you can't do that, you can't say that, you can't do that. Say, listen, if you're a fucking idiot, sometimes you might need to be told you're a fucking idiot, so you could just brace up and, right, that was an idiotic thing I did, actually, to a degree. But it's like they want us all the same, you know what I mean, and just compliant, and it's like, no, listen, with all due respect and no disrespect, before social media, you couldn't say the shit that you say.
It's fucked up.
You know what I mean? I'll tell you, and all this business about, you might think I'm wrong, and I'm sure some people will think I'm wrong about, they say that everybody's entitled to opinion. Nah, they're fucking not. Nah, they're not.
There's poisonous stuff
online. You need to shut your mouth sometimes. Yeah, that opinion's wrong. That opinion is going to formulate hate, and that's wrong.
Then what they do is they'll fucking jump on it. Let's get this fucker, let's torture them.
Yeah.
That's wrong, man. Be kind, be nice. Social media is a popularity contest. Look at me, I've got the big fucking Bentley. Fuck
Don't get me
off.
wrong, I love social media, and I do love the idea of being able to contact people, let people know what's going on, this, that and the other. And I suppose, in all honesty, there is something about it that's quite addictive. You know what I mean?
Aye.
And
Like I was in the dentist all week, right? There was 6 people in the dentist. Guess how many was sitting out with their phone? 6.
I'd have been like that. Thought you had toothache.
Do you know what I mean?
Cunt, I'm in front of you.
Oh, mate, honestly, man. But as I said to you, there's too much social media, all this bullying stuff and things like that, and that's where it all stems from. I've got 3 kids, mate, right? And do you know what? I'm worried for the future, as we just touched on earlier on. I'm really, really worried, because it's all this Snapchat bullshit, Twitter, Instagram. Great promotional tool.
Yeah.
Taking in the gym, watching the guys work, things like that, getting out there and showing what they can do. But it's just, there's too much in it.
Too much. And listen, I'll tell you what I hate as well, talking on that. The sexualisation of the kids. I think it's absolutely scandalous. And you know something? I'm driving down the street. I'll have the lads. I'll have my son in the car, and I'll be driving down the street. And my son's a red-blooded male. And he might turn his head. And I'll say, oh, did you notice that? And he'll be like, you couldn't miss it, could you? So I'll tell you what it is. They need clothes on.
100%.
And these are young kids, and then they want to know why some of the older ones are looking and maybe not tempted, but put in situations where you've got to remember, some of these young kids are going on like grown people, and then the grown people, some of them are actually acting like kids, or immature. They're immature, or mentally immature, or physically immature. There's a lot of wrong uns out there, but there's a lot of bullshit going on out there as well.
Mate, honestly, right, it's like, I'm cool with black, white, Vietnamese, any race, mate, lesbian, gay, whatever you want to be, but leave the kids alone.
Leave them, let them be kids.
Honestly, mate, let them enjoy themselves. Share this stuff that's, like transgender, and they're 13, 14. That's wrong, Nick. There's 2 genders, male and female. Leave the kids alone. It's a joke, mate.
You know what? I think that if you put a boy and a girl, just say you made up an artificial village or something, and you put boys and girls together, I think the boys will be boys, I think the girls will be girls, and I think it's difficult because there's that many people jumping into each other's genders. The gayness, I can't really say no about gayness because I've got so many gay friends.
Same,
you know
mate,
what I mean? And I'm like, and it scratches
cool,
me head.
man.
I don't understand it, and that, you know what I mean. And I don't knock it because I'm like, you do as you do, you know what I mean. But if you come to my house, you can surely stop in my house, but no hanky panky. You can't go on.
I need to watch that.
Not upon my sheets.
Behave yourself,
But, you know what I mean? Whoa. Keep a distance just tonight. But no. Listen, I'll tell you what. When it comes to all that, in this day and age, what I will definitely say is, I'm not going to make overly judgment on it. I have my own views, but what I will turn around and say is, there's so many problems going on in the world right now that I'm not going to turn around and jump on anybody's sexuality to what's it called, the messing about with kids and the messing about with people's genitals and that. I think it's wrong. Personally, I remember when my youngest was looking for the schools and that for him, and I just said to him, just nonchalantly, is that the word?
Yeah.
Just matter of factly, but without any kind of too much seriousness, I just threw it in. I went, oh, at what age do you start teaching him about, well, sex education and this, that and the other? My son was fucking 3, going to a nursery. They went, oh yeah, we do. I went, that's enough for me.
See you later.
Come on.
Fucking
No, I mean,
bullshit,
come on.
innit?
So listen, these kids do
poisoning
not need
people's
to
minds,
know.
that's what it is.
They don't need to know. They don't need to know. And I'll tell you what, if you went to, I saw something the other day, and it was really, really true. And they were saying it was some kind of a meme or a reel, and it said that the Western kids are sexualized and made to feel or be like, act like adults. No, what is it? The kids in, just say for example, Gaza or something like that, or some foreign, a couple of foreign countries, they're mature, they're given responsibility early, and it's not physical, it's mental. So they're a lot more grown up. They know about responsibility, they know about family, they know about certain things. Whereas,
drilled in, innit?
Yeah, drilled in already. Whereas over here, I think we baby them, mollycoddle them, and fucking tamper with them as well. You know what I mean? So you got, cause I think that is a massive problem over here. You know,
Fucking sure it is,
yeah,
mate.
and I think it's bigger than people. I think it's bigger than people realise. But what I can't do is, I can't understand why people are screaming to protect the children. Screaming, they should be screaming, look after our kids, look after our future, let's do something for the future. And all it tells me is that, listen, the country's full of fucking wrong-uns, mate. It's full of nonsense. There's too many people in positions of power who are wrong-uns.
I don't know what this governor are looking at. It's fucking standing there right in front of you. It's got to be dealt with, you know what I mean?
Hidden in plain sight, innit? At the end of the day, when it comes right down to it, I've always thought to myself, best way to get out of a situation is confusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, confuse them, get gone. You know what I mean?
Fucking right, baffle the fuckers.
Baffle them, and I think that's what they're doing with us, is they're giving us so much shit to think about that we're all baffled while something's going on and they're letting these things come through. You know what I mean? I don't want to dwell too much on on nonsense and that, because there's too many of them in power. You know who you are. You fucking do.
Exactly.
You know you're wrong-uns and that, you know what I mean?
So, just touching back, Nick, obviously in your younger days you spent a wee bit of time at the Helm of Her Majesty's Service in prison. Mind me asking what led you to prison?
Boredom, no money. I'll tell you straight, between the hours of 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock, round here we used to be thinking, right, what we're going to do tonight? It's, well, if we're going to go to Cherry or go to town, we need some money. How are we going to get the money? And there used to be a series of warehouses, closed warehouses, so we'd just go, me and my friends, Peter Sorby and that, Dave Bingham, Mickey Morn, Mark Morn, God bless him, Ashford, Furphy, Mark Firth. We used to hang around here. So we'd rob that one at Mabgate, rob that one at Little London, rob that one over here. And we'd have a little circuit where we'd do it and then sell it to market lads and get a few quid. And dickhead here, clean forgot, black guy. All these white guys, one black guy. It wasn't me. Fucking forgot, didn't I? Oh, could have done with a disguise, Nick.
Was it just robberies of shops, Nick?
Just bits and bobs, yeah. Nothing too bad. I went through a phase which I was, as an adult, I feel kind of embarrassed about, where we was like, we'd break houses and that, you know what I mean? But we were just desperate, and at that age, what we thought was, anybody with a video's got dough, got more dough than they need. So if you've got more dough than you need, chances are you've got a job. If you've got a job, chances are you're insured. If you're insured, you can claim it. We'll try and have that. And that, if anything, that, as I grew up, that's the bit that bugged me. And I thought, you know something, I disrespected somebody's sanctity of their own home there, and I don't know how they'll have felt. But as an adult, you can empathise and you realise that actually that's heartbreaking. Is that?
Were you embarrassed about it at the time, Nick? Yeah.
At the time?
Yeah.
No, at the time, didn't give a fuck, 125
No, sorry, looking back.
Oh, looking back, yeah, I'm embarrassed and I feel for it and that, because I remember somebody robbed my shed once and I was livid, but I were also embarrassed, but I took it as a personal affront too. I'm like, fucking hell, you've been on my property. And I always think, yeah, but you did that to people as well. And it is embarrassing, and it's not something that I'm proud of at all. at all. You know what I mean? Whatever else I've been done for and that, I can live with that. But that is something that always bugs me, and I always think, you know what, that's something that didn't need to happen. But the money.
We'll make mistakes, mate. It's easy done, Jimmy. As long as we learn from the mistakes.
Yeah, I do learn from it.
Yeah,
but even now, I still think to me, because I think to myself, you can do things against property, you can do things against people that you might smash somebody up, but if you've got a good reason, you can justify it. But sometimes you can't really take into consideration a person's feelings and how they feel. And I know for a fact that the water felt nice.
The worst thing you can do is hurt somebody's feelings. I always think, you know what I mean? Public humiliation, hurting people's feelings. It's the worst thing.
We used to stay outside video shop, didn't we? There were a bus driver who then went on to own a video shop and that. And we used to really like him, Black Dave, they used to call him. You know what I mean? But he was a great fella. And he had a video shop. And then we were like that. Every fucker who comes in here has obviously got a video. Them videos we can get £125 a piece, can't we? Here we go then. So we knew. You know what I mean? Which was a shame and that. And it's not something I'm proud of and that. And such is life. I apologise.
How long were you inside for, Nick?
I got a couple of sentences, unfortunately. I got 17 months and I did 10 months out of that. Was it 10 months, 11 months out of that? When I was a kid. Went to Everthorpe, Deer, Bolt, playing all over. Got a 2.5 year. Ended up in, where were we? We were in Durham when I met a Scottish fella called Patches. And me and Trevor, Yorkie, we were both locked up in there. So next thing you know, we sat there and we're like, talking, we're saying, listen, got to do better, you know, we can't be, listen, your mum's upset, my mum's upset, they feel shame and that, you know what I mean, and we're fucking sat here like two divs, you know what I mean, so anyway, next thing you know, doors open, and we're like, Jesus Christ, what's going on? Screws don't usually come in at this time at night. In comes a third man, Patches, comes in, boom, puts his things down, so we're like that, very suspicious, like that, oh, all right, mate, he's like, all right, say that, yeah. How are you doing? All right, yeah. So after a little bit, what are you in for? What were you in for? We couldn't, because they used to have card outside doors, so you could just go like that. But like, what are you in for? 10. Like that fucking really.
Aye.
Yeah. So
what had they done?
Bad man.
Yeah.
Bad man. But he got a 10.
Yep.
So anyway, what had happened is he'd been put down the block. So another lad who'd. What happened is, a lad had robbed his stuff while they were in the cell, but then told the screws that Patches were trying to come onto him. So they've put him down block for some kind of protection thing, his own protection, or protection of others. And everybody's like that. Patches is a good fella though. Patches is alright, you fucking set him up, so because you've robbed his gear. So anyway, when they brought him back up from segregation, put him in ours. So it's like that, you know, and he's like that. Back to he's gone, he's in for something naughty, blah, 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 cool. Anyway, he's gone, hey lads, do you smoke? So like, yeah, of course we do. He's gone, hey, turn the light off. So we're like that, fuck off, you old nonce, fuck off. What do you mean turn the light off? He said, turn the light off, I've got some, this is my attempt at a Scottish accent. So he's gone, so, turn the light off. Now I know that you're there. So I'm like, right. Turn the light off. It's pitch black. And I'm thinking, right, don't fucking move. Don't move, because if you come near me, we don't know what's going on. And we heard shuffle, 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 shuffle. And he went, aye, it's all right now. Turned it on. Turned it back. And he had a big fucking 9-bar.
Aye.
Of Lebanese. Right. And we're like, where did you get that from? He went, in the bank. What? In the fucking bank.
Would they get Would they get a lot of stuff in, Nick, when you were
listening? Me?
No, did they? A lot of stuff would come in through prison, I take
it. There'd be all sorts of stuff. They had everything. Fucking hell. Listen, look, they get what they get, you know what I mean? They'd put us on the cons, you know what I mean? Yeah. We were supposed to be YPs, but they put us on the cons because we weren't behaving, you know what I mean? So they put us on cons to try and straighten us out. And there were some good people, some really good people there. But like Patches were fucking great, you know what I mean? He had that big 9-bar and he was like, You want to smoke? Yeah. You want to smoke? Yeah. We stayed with him for a few weeks. But he was a really good guy. Some good guys. He was doing 10. And he ended up going back up to Barlinnie.
Barlinnie, that's right, aye.
Barlinnie.
Did you get much hassle inside when you were in, Nick?
I don't think so. Well, you only get hassle when you lose, don't you? It only feels like hassle when you're losing. But when you say hassle, it's just like anywhere, you find your place, don't you? Anybody goes anywhere, you're going to find your place in there. And unfortunately, with me being from Leeds, and we're quite confident actually in ourselves. We're quite confident in ourselves and that. And I'd be all right. But back in the day, sometimes what they'd do is if there was, just say for example, there was 20 black guys and there's only one white guy. If they're twats or whatever, they might find a way to want to talk, like call the white guy something. They might call him a cracker. They might say, "Yo, cracker, come here." And it'd be like, "Hang on a minute, why are you saying that to him like that?" Because if you were in a place where tables are turned, you wouldn't be talking like that, would you? So I'm only joking. I said, "Don't joke like that, man. That's out of order." You know what I mean? You're right. And I felt like myself because like I've been to places where I've been the only black guy, and then man might be saying, "Yo, manners, you're this, that, and the other," and I'm like, "Really? All right, cool."
How did you cope with prison, Nick? Because it can break the toughest of men. Did you have that mental toughness when you're inside to get through those hard times when you're in there?
Well, I must have done because I'm here. You know what I mean? But what I always thought was, to be fair, when I was younger, because I was the naughty one, my mother would always be saying, "You're going to land up in jail, boy. You need to mind yourself. You're going to land up in jail if you don't behave yourself," which is right. If you don't behave yourself, you're going to end up getting put away. So subconsciously, I'll be honest, I always thought to myself, you know what, if I'm going to end up going there, I need to be ready for there. So, mentally, and that might sound strange, but if you know that you're doing things that might risk you going inside, there's got to be a part of you that understands that you might end up inside.
Was that a hard time for your mother when you were in, Nick?
Yeah, it broke her heart, and that's probably the hardest bit of it for me, was having to think, I hope my mum's not worried about me. I hope that, because at the end of the day, I'd say to anybody, the worst thing must be behind that wall. Because once you're behind that wall, that's it, you're gone. You know what I mean? Just think about it. You don't count. When you go to jail, you do not count. You're not part of society anymore. You're not even alive, mate. You know what I mean? You're not even alive. Go to the hospital, what will you get? Aspirin water. Break your leg, what will you get? Aspirin water. Get slashed, what will you get? Aspirin water.
Is that the hardest time of your life?
No. I think, no, that one, no. Because at the end of the day,
you got through it, didn't you? Nick?
Yeah. We're young lads, aren't we? You know what I mean?
Test you, but I take it back then.
It tested, yeah. It tested, because what you've got to do is you've got to get out. It's about getting out. When you go in, your sole thing is to get out. Yeah. Now, you've got two choices. You can risk yourself staying in there even longer and longer and longer. And also, how you react to certain situations determines whether you get out on time or whether you continually get time. I was in a situation where I was in, I've been in a couple of situations where it could have been serious actually at that time. But fortunately, I got out of it. You know what I mean? In jail, they used to fight. And they were vicious. Well, you know yourself. The guys would be walking around with, and I'd be thinking, why has he got a bloody bit of sellotape on his fucking fingers and that? Huh. And he's got two blades in it and that between. Did
you see a lot of that, Nick?
Yeah. So I saw Sauls. Listen, I saw him licking people in the head with PP9s in a pillow. Bang. You know, pool balls in the sock. Bang. You know what I mean? Pieces of wood. Bang. Listen. There's some bad guys in there. I remember there were some bad guys in there, young kids, and they were looking to make their mark and this, that, and the other. And they'd be cracking heads, they'd be bussing up people, they'd be slashing people. People would be doing that bit where they boil up the water, put the sugar in, bang, try and melt your face off and all that business. And I was paranoid anyway, you know what I mean? When I say paranoid, I was paranoid anyway, so I was always aware. I'd always be aware, thinking, you know, something. And I had a good group of lads. We had a good group of lads together that we'd watch each other's back to a degree because we were getting moved about that much that you'd not settle, but you'd end up in strange ways, ended up in Liverpool, and you know what? Strange ways, Walton, Durham, Armley, Hull, you know, all the major dispersal jails and that. And when I think about it, at my age and that, there's plenty of people done much worse than me and had much harder time. But when I think of my own little thing, and I think, fucking hell, I'll tell you what, I would out of order that. You know what I mean? They were wrong, you know what I mean? And they sent me to a few places where they already had the guy there ready to fight me. And when yeah, because I got 2.5 years and they sent me to 13 different jails.
What, 13 different jails?
Yeah. Because, well, I'd go to places and that, and sometimes I'd have scraps with a lad on there or maybe the boy or something like that, and I'd be like, I'm here to go home, mate. I don't want to Baron. I don't want to be don't be involved in that. Just leave me. And then
pure survival mode, isn't it? Fucking
yeah. And then I'd be like, why is he now sort of like got a bit of an attitude towards me, and he's got his chest out a bit, and when I'm supposed to get this, I'm getting it late, and when I'm supposed to get that, I'm not getting it at all. And I'm like, hang on a minute, are you taking the fuck out of me because I've said I'm not going to get involved in that? And I just fucking bang him, you know what I mean? That's it, simple as that. You know, we'd have a fight. Thankfully, I'd come out on top. I've always turned around and said, it's an old Jamaican thing, you can't wrong and strong. You
like that, man.
You can't wrong and strong. If you're right, you'll get might. If you're wrong, you can't be strong. And thankfully, when in there, I was all right. And I'm not saying it like a bad man or a hard man, because when I think of it now, I still think to myself, fucking hell, you did well to get out of there, to be fair, in one piece.
Did it shape you into a better man, Nick?
But
But you matured in there, you came out and went, fucking hell, I don't want to go back there.
listen, life's life, innit? You know what I mean? Life's life, and sometimes you can't turn around and say you're not going to do a certain thing, because if you were put in a certain situation, circumstances can mean that you might do something that the law says is wrong, but you and your principles say is right. You might defend yourself. You might be attacked, and you might attack them back and beat them. But the circumstances might say that you're still guilty. Then you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Then all of a sudden you're back in there or whatever. So what I'll turn around and say is that what I did do is I decided that I would never go back in there for stealing or for dishonesty. You know what I mean? Whereas I'm still going to try and defend myself or my honour or my family. But other than that, I've got no reason.
You matured and learned a lesson for the petty things that you did back then. Like,
yeah, it was stupid. Yeah, I've never earned no money.
Petty
You know
crime,
what I mean?
daft.
Yeah, daft crime and that. And but what it did show me was that revolving door that prison has, because the amount of people who are still involved in that cycle of they're probably most secure when they're inside. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're getting 3 square a day, 3 meals a day, this, that, and the other.
They actually like being in there and they're getting fed and warmed.
Yeah, fed, watered, warm. And somebody was saying to me the other day, listen, the guys who are inside live a better life than many of them that are outside. Many poor people.
That,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, from what you hear and that, listen, we had to shit in a fucking plastic bucket, 3 of us. Yeah, slop out, 3 of you in a cell. You've got a plastic bucket with a lid on, and if you wanted to crap after a certain time, you'd have to fucking get your shit parcel and that. Yeah, but you couldn't do that. You get a piece of newspaper, turn all lights off, tell them to hold the nose, shit on the newspaper, wrap up the newspaper, out it goes out the window, shit parcel. It's meant. Listen, it was gruesome. That there, a lot of people. I remember. Do you remember Scum?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we were brought up on that. Our generation, Scum, Scarface, whatever. And I remember that. And I remember all I ever remember was that scene where, where's your tool? Gone, what fucking tool? This fucking tool. So I thought, is that how it is then? Right. So when man used to say, do you want to have a go, man? done. Fuck you.
One dig finish,
Gone. Just try my best, you know what I mean? Because you have to survive. Yeah. Like I've said, listen, if you're going to go to hell, you better get some horns, man. You know what I mean? Get your horns. If you're going to go to hell, get your horns ready.
So you came out of prison at 20, Nick. Was that when the kind of the boxing kind of springboarded in for you? 20 years.
I was 19.
19.
And I'd got out. Our Colin had been up to Durham, and we'd had a chat with me and told me that, look, this is getting a bit serious, and that, and the way that you're going with your sentence is ridiculous, and you're going to end up getting big ones and that, you know what I mean, getting a big one.
How important was that chat with Colin then?
Very important. It was vital. If he hadn't come up, I'd have just carried on again, doing what I was doing and just trying to make a few quid. I was a shit crook. I'd never been a drug dealer, never been a alt like that, so I never liable to make any money. You know what I mean? Not really a proper robber and all that business. I wasn't a crook. I was a shit crook. You know what I mean? Just a chance. I just wanted to put something in my pocket so I could go out on the night time and not have to turn around and say, "Get us a pint." Yeah, just like many of us. You know what I mean? But that from there, I came out and then I went down to St. Patrick's, started boxing there. Actually fell in love with it. Fell in love with having somewhere to go that felt like I was part of something. You know what I mean? And,
that saved your life back then. But it saved you from going back to the crime and things.
100%, 100%. I don't know if I hadn't gone into boxing, I'd have been still walking street. So if I'm still walking street, I'd have still wanted to have some money. You didn't need money in your pocket to go in the boxing ring or to go in the gym. You might pay your little subs and that, but St. Patrick's was a sponsored gym anyway. So if you had good talent, they'd sort of like say, you don't bother. If you can't afford it, you know, if you had good talent and couldn't afford it, they'd still say, pay me with your attendance.
It's class, isn't it, man?
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. I like that, because some people haven't got it and they're really gifted. That's tough, man. It's shitty because it's such a tough sport, man. Somebody come with nothing and make themselves something. That's a special thing about boxing.
That's why I love it. I love them coming in the door, and when they come in the door, if they're coming in a certain way, and I'm not trying to be anybody's seafood, anybody's bloody, look at me. No, because what I do because I've got a real passion, because I see so many of these fucking kids, and I think to myself, you know what? I don't want you to even have to even think to go through anything that I went through. You know what I mean? I remember getting fucking, do you remember that Rodney King thing?
Yep.
Right. Listen, I remember that Rodney King. The same year as Rodney King got his situation in, I think, California or something, America. I had a situation where I had him on my neck, you know what I mean? And I could hear the vertebrae in my neck crunching. And the only reason why I didn't personally have my neck snapped was because I had some good traps. You can see on that picture over there now. And when I went like that and squeezed my neck in, you know what I mean? I sort of like took the strain, but I could hear in my ears, I could hear crunch, and I thought, fuck, you know, they're going to kill me. But that was a situation with police and that. So I've been in some silly situations which could have really had bad ramifications on my future. Unfortunately, I've been able to come out the other side decently, you know what I mean, for want of a better word. I've got a book, so I can't tell you everything. I've got a book coming out. Did you know that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
When's that due?
That's due out on Christmas. Due out at Christmas. We've gone through the ghost reading phase, and this is it ghost proofreading phase, this, that and the other. Now we're just sorting out just one or two little frayed edges.
You happy with it set just now, Nick?
Yeah, I'm very happy.
Can you tell the viewers where we get this book then?
Up to now, I'll tell you what I'll do. Initially, it's been written by an author called Jamie Boyle, who's he's had about 20 books out, but he's wrote on Paul Sykes, Venice, Paul Venice, who's a very notorious kid down in Newcastle. I think he's going to be playing. Have you ever heard of a guy called Lee Duffy?
No.
Lee Duffy's a notorious Middlesbrough gangland hardman who passed away. It's got a good story to it, actually. You know what I mean? Ends sadly, tragic, but it's a good story. Paul Sykes, he's wrote on Paul Sykes.
Yep.
What's his name now? The footballer used to play for Scotland, played for Celtic. Thompson, Alan Thompson.
Alan Thompson,
yeah.
aye.
He wrote Alan Thompson's biography.
He had a tough time with the booze as well. Alan Thompson turned it around, didn't he?
A lot of these guys, you know what though? They do have an hard time, don't they?
Definitely. You're earning all this money. You're playing in front of these fans. And
Yeah.
you're this trajectory. You're here. Then you retire. You're here. It's similar for boxers. I'll say experts, how do you replace that high? And they say to me, Mark, I can't replace that high. It's impossible to replace it.
But you know how I've replaced it?
Coming here.
Yes. What I do is I go, you know what? That same little dream from nothing to something. You know what I mean? That same little dream. And I see these kids here and I say to them, you don't have to get a fucking belt to be a champion, you know. Say, what do you mean? Well, just be yourself. Be a good guy. Be a champion, you know what I mean? Without a belt, you know what I mean? Act nice. Treat people good. Walk with the stiff back, you know what I mean? Walk with the shoulders back. Have a little bit of self-respect and pride for yourself. You know? That makes you a champion already. You know what I mean? And I say, listen, you walk with a sense of pride and that, and you see the difference between yourself and the also-rans. You know what I mean? And like I say, and like you've said, I'm scared for where society is going to go, and also for where society is being told to go, because a lot of these people, they're trading on bullshit right now. You know what I mean? Decency, self-respect. Now, I can't talk about the people who's got loads of money, because the people who's got loads of money living in that high society, let's call it middle class, that's a different world to what we're in. They're all right. I'm on about here on the street, inner cities and this, that and the other. Inner cities, these kids are being left to their own devices, mate. You know what I mean?
It's uncontrollable as well. Nick, see the knife crime rate with sports fucking through the roof, mate, honestly.
Listen, it's so bad. It's a lot worse than I know, because I don't deal with knife crime. I don't get involved. I don't do the streets and this, that and the other. When I was younger, if you carried a knife, you were called the local nutter.
Yeah.
Now, you call the boy, or you call the top boy. You know what I mean? It's like, where does... Yeah, it's like... And these guys, I've talked to some of the kids, you know, and they're like, I'm not fighting nobody, man. I'll cut him up. And you're like, Jesus Christ. And it's like, no, I'm not fighting nobody. I'm not doing that. I'll just juck him up. You're like, really? So what happens if you kill him? So hang on a minute. So you're prepared to do
That's
life?
what I'm saying, but they don't care.
Yeah.
They've lack of respect. That there's fucking their adrenaline's through the roof. They don't give a shit. They're willing to go to jail.
What's it like up where you are?
Terrible, Nick. Fucking terrible, mate.
Is that because of lack of opportunity as well, though?
It's all drugs, all gangs, drug culture. Everyone's drugs. Everyone's drugs related. Turfs, all this shit. He's selling this here now.
It's difficult, you know what I mean? Because then people, once you start earning a certain sort of like amount of money and having a certain amount of lifestyle, it's difficult for you then to turn around and go do a 9-to-5 job.
Can't do it.
£13 an hour.
Easy money is a big, big problem. So just moving on, Nick, obviously you're a tremendous coach, mate. I've got a ton of respect for you, sorry.
I don't know if I am. I try.
I know, you get it, mate. I can see you in with the guys today, man. They look up to you, mate. You can see that, they respect you and things like that. But you were involved in Josh Warrington's career. Tremendous stuff. When did that all begin, Nick?
That begun. He was about 9 years old. He was up at Star, and his dad Sean were just helping out at Star Boxing. I think he was still a taxi driving then as well. And but he was shadowing his son where he went, you know, do a bit of boxing, do a bit of kickboxing, this, that, and the other. And as we were talking, he asked me for a little bit of advice, and I said, "Listen, best advice I can give you, excuse me, stay right next to your bloody son, because in this boxing game, you've got people who want your child to do all these things for them, and also for the child itself as well, but predominantly the trainer. The trainer is judged on the products he brings. So what they want to do is have your son, train him, have him listen to everything they say, and eventually what will happen when they're listening, when your kids are listening to everything the trainer says, the kid might stop listening to what you say. So what I say is, you make sure you're right next to your son, so that at the end of the day, what they're telling him, you know exactly what they're telling him, because when it comes right down to it, these relationships break. Relationships between trainers and thingy break. And a lot of people turn around and say, "Oh, what do you think about father-son relationships?" I think it's great. You know what I mean? At least you know where you are. You know what I mean?
Definitely. What made him different from the rest?
Well, I remember a kid called Tony Silkstone, God bless him, really good fighter. And he had all the attributes that Josh has, but didn't have the discipline that Josh has. And that's the difference for me. He had that discipline and that focus. You know what I mean? And I saw it. I saw it in his eyes, even as he was 9 years old. I was like, little cunt, that. I mean, yeah. No, I don't mean it in a bad way, but he's got that little bit of spite, that little bit of twat in him. That and his eyes were. He had something. There was something in his eyes that were just steely determined because he was little. He was smaller than everybody else.
I'm going to win. I'm going to do what it takes to win that kind of attitude.
Yeah. And then I didn't see him for years. Just saw Sean here and there, now and again, out and about on the circuits, this, that, and the other. And then I think I seen him at a show in Hull, and we had a couple of words, said hello. And the next thing you know, he came down to the gym and asked me if I'd come aboard. And I remember turning around and saying to Josh and that, saying, listen, mate, you've got an opportunity here, because Leeds is it's a one-club city.
Come to this gym last year, did you see?
Yeah, he had, no, by the time we'd won the title...
Commonwealth, it was Joe Bronco fight, you linked up with him, sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He'd done the kid from Hull, can't remember his name, Nazim, Samir. He did Samir for the Commonwealth. And then they came and got me on board. And from there, the main thing I was saying to him was, listen, you've got an opportunity to turn around and do things. And, the things that Crawford Ashley couldn't do, the things that Henry Wharton couldn't do, things that Tom Collins couldn't do, I can see you doing them because I can see you navigating yourself around one or two of the mistakes that they might have made that were detrimental to them. But if you just stick your head in a forward mode, you've got it and you're capable. And I don't see you do things right and you listen. I don't see you getting beat.
You know what, Nick? See when he fought Frampton, right? I'm just going to put us to you, right? Leeds went to Manchester, took over the fucking place.
Fucking right.
And the way he excelled himself that night, in the exchanges, as I say, is 10% sharper in every single department. His ring IQ, everything. That's one of the best performances I've seen in a British ring. I've seen a lot of good fights, trust me. See that night?
But if you look at it technically and all that, he dealt with him and he
right on the money.
His father got that right. His father got that right.
People were saying like, oh, he can't bang, he can't whack. After the fight, the first thing Carl Frampton said, this kid can punch.
Listen, I've been saying, I used to say, listen, I'll tell you what it is, when it comes right down to it, let's be honest. While we was coming up, even when he got the Commonwealth, even after, from time I joined, all I ever heard was, he can't punch, he's a feather-fisted, he's not going to make it, he'll only go so far, he'll only do this, he'll only do that. And I was like, let him talk. And then as I was training with him, I was saying, listen, you can punch, you know. Yeah, I'd just be talking to him, I was saying, hey, listen, you've got everything in you to fight, you can fight, and look at it this way, you can go the distance. Listen, forget about the knockouts will come. But you can go the distance, and if you can navigate the distance and get comfortable going the distance and knowing you can go the distance, then at some point you can step up and say when you want to put the bigger punches in. But the thing is, you can go all the way. You can go 12 rounds, 8 rounds, 6 rounds, 10 rounds, you can do the rounds. So from time you're happy that you can do the rounds, then you can work out where to put the harder punches and this, that and the other. And in reality, intention as well is a massive thing. A lot of these kids, they don't hit with no intention. They're just hitting to hit a target. He hits to hurt.
Was that one of the proudest moments of your coaching career? Along with Sean being number one, obviously being the second. Was that one of the proudest moments of your coaching career? Been involved in that?
Which one? Selby or thing?
Frampton. It's hard because you
went
with Selby.
Listen, the Selby one's my finest moment with Josh. I'm really happy with that one. The Frampton one now.
Special about that night.
I'll tell you what was special about that night. I've said it before. Leeds and Manchester have got a rivalry that fucking hate them.
There's only one United.
That's Leeds United. That's what I've always said. There's only one United, Leeds United. We fucking hate them Manx, but they're all right. They're good people. Love them and that. But from that red rose and all that business,
only for 90 minutes.
Fuck yourself. No, they are great people and that. You know, what I mean, obviously Maurice Corr, Champs Camp, Phil Martin. Jamie Moore,
Legends, man.
all them guys,
Legends,
great guys, you know what I mean? But you know what it is? They're still Manx. You know what I mean? I'm joking. But watch this. Historically, Leeds have always come back home from over the Pennines with the tails between the legs, with tails between the legs. If only, shoulda, woulda, coulda, da. And we turned around and said, yeah, we're going to go over to Manchester. We're going over proper. Fucking
some night, man. It's
listen,
unbelievable.
Listen, it gets me going now because I'm like, listen, we're not coming home from there with his tails between his legs. Everybody else who goes over there, they usually come, give a real good effort, but they come back and they get patted on the back. Oh, hard lines. Listen, we're going over. So there were a right firm of lads went over there. When I say firm, right crowd. Took a right crowd over there. And what I used to always do is, before the big fights, I'd go out and just gauge the audience and just gauge them. And they're always up for it anyway.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
So I'd be like that, and then lads would be like that, Nick, because it would have, listen, there were a lot of people thought that Carl were going to do us.
I know.
Because he was a very well respected, he's very well respected, he's a real good combatant, and the things that he's done rightly says that we were slight underdogs. Yeah. But as champions and as contenders, what you look to do is prove yourself. Yeah. So it was for Josh to prove himself. So I go out in the crowd and that, and I'm like that. They'd be like, Nick, he's going to be all right. He's going to be all right. So what do you mean he's going to be all right? So, how's he feeling? Do you think he's... Listen, he's a fucking hard ask, is that Carl Frampton. My thing was this. I say, hey, mate, tell you what you do. Thank you very much for coming and supporting us. Thank you very much for supporting us with your hard-earned money and that, but do me a favour. You've still got one more bit to do. Make the fucking noise. Keep the noise going. Yeah. Understand that the quality that Carl Frampton has means that he may put us under pressure, and there may be times when he's throwing the fist.
Yeah.
Don't stop shouting.
Keep the noise going.
Yeah, keep the noise, because I'll tell you what it is. We're going to come through it and we're going to fight for you. So I'll tell you what, you go do your job. You make sure that you make the noise, raise the roof, and I'll tell you what it is. Let's go back down that M62 later on, laughing his heads off.
Fucking right.
And I'll tell you what it is. Listen, it did him, and all I could do was fucking done it. We've done it as a team, as a group, and that, you know what I mean? I'm not with Josh on that now, you know what I mean? And listen, with boxing, things go on, cycles go on. Listen, I wish them all the very best, and I want him to keep on winning his boxing against Lee Woods very soon, October the 7th, and I wish him the very best of luck with that. I think he's going to do it, and I hope he does for Leeds and for himself. 3 times world champion, that sounds good. But I'm thankful.
No, nice touch, Nick. I like that.
No, he's a good kid. He's a good kid, and I tell you, he's doing it all for Leeds, and that'll do for me.
But listen, Nick, I can't thank you enough today. I want to ask you one last question. When it's all said and done, how would Nick Manners like to be remembered?
I don't give a fuck, you know what I mean? I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered. I couldn't give a fuck, you know what I mean? I'm not bothered. I shouldn't have said that, but I said I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered about memory. Listen, there's been better than me forgotten, so I'm all right. That's not a bad way of doing it, though. There's better than me being forgotten, so who am I? I'm all right. I'll tell you what I'd like to be remembered. I'd like my kids to remember that we're all right. That's what I want. I'm not bothered about the rest of it. Listen, memories are there as long as you thought about.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Nick Manners, it's been a pleasure.
No, it's been. Listen, I'm ever so thankful.
I'm thankful for you.
I hope you can get some decent footage out of this. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Because we could natter for ages, but there's so many experiences that's been had. You know what I mean? But like Lee Selby winning the world title, I swear to God, that one. Even now, I close my eyes and I can still see all these white lights that were over the ring and that. Yeah, them. I can still see them. It were a brilliant night. One of the proudest moments of my life. Next to Josh boxed on Ellen Road. I boxed on Ellen Road. I'm happy as Larry. Done it twice. Done it as a fighter. Done it as a coach. That's history.
It's 30 years ago. 30 years when that fight was. I mean,
yeah, it was brilliant. Brilliant. You know, you can't knock it.
Nick, all the best, mate. Top man. You. God
and
bless
to you guys out there, all I gotta say is this.
That camera there.
Oh, that one.
That one.
Django. If you don't know, you best get to know. You know what I mean? I'm not in the house. I'm on a horse, motherfucker. Remember that. That'll do me.
Brilliant, Nick. Brilliant, mate. Good man. Thanks for